shaking grounds, emerging riverbeds, and howling caves. Are these just nature's marvels, or is something terrifying trapped beneath our lands, waiting to emerge? Let's solve this mystery together by watching the moments when our Earth was caught trembling mysteriously.
Сейчас пробурил лунку. Мне навстречу фонтан. Какой-то газ идет. Решил поджечь, попробовать.
In 2019, a Serbian resident witnessed a strange spectacle on the Eerie River. The river was frozen due to winter, but a hole appeared on it overnight, and it was breathing fire. Now, before you get all comfy camping around it, think about what even was making this fire. Netizens believe a dragon or another unknown monster woke up, and now it is trying to come to the surface. But given the lack of information in the video, we can never know for sure what it was.
Methane is a very potent greenhouse gas. A molecule of methane is 25 times stronger than carbon dioxide.
Cracking road. The gates of hell opened in Turkey, or at least, that is what the people there think. On March 11th, 2023, a small town there witnessed a scary spectacle. A crack opened on a road, and it appeared to be breathing or trying to open up. However, luck was on their side that day, and the phenomenon ceased. Else who knows, we just might have seen something inexplicable. Looks like the demons in hell are impatient for human souls, and they made an attempt to open a gate to Earth. Underground monsters.
There goes.
Oh!
Looks like there was an underground lake in Colorado, and it seems to be harboring mysterious monsters too. In 2018, the people living in a suburb observed some suspicious activity on their road and informed the police. Something was trying to open up a hole in the road. Suddenly, part of the road dropped into the ground, spraying water all around. But whatever it was, must have been dazzled by the light and turned away. Such phenomena have been increasing lately around the world. So who knows? We might see underground monsters invade in the coming future.
It's way under.
Yeah, there goes all of it.
Yamal Gate.
An urgent expedition is to start probing 4 giant craters that have appeared in gas-rich northern Siberia.
The end of the world is near, they say, and the gates to hell are opening, they say. At least that is what they believe in Siberia. The Yamal Peninsula in Russia has witnessed quite a few large holes appearing in the ground over the last 3 years. Scientists are at a loss trying to explain this phenomenon, but here is the cruncher. The meaning of the word Yamal literally is the end of the world, and that just can't be a coincidence. Breathing pavement. Imagine going about your day normally and coming across something like this. This happened in Japan a few years ago, and initially, when this happened, locals simply assumed that this was just the ground shaking loose. But now, supernatural enthusiasts are coming up with a different explanation. Apparently, there's something known as a jinmenju in Japanese mythology, a creature born with roots so vast it can split the earth in two. Of course, like most stories, this was chalked off as a myth. But now, with evidence like this, who knows what the truth really is? Light it up.
The fight to contain these fires is not over at all, and in many cases that fight is invisible.
Looks like we found the reason why so many fires happen in American forests. And no, it isn't campers leaving fires unattended. 4 years ago, a news channel in Oregon made an astounding discovery. Mysterious fires erupted under forest floors. And these extraordinary fires raged at a higher temperature too. But how are these even made? No one has any clue. My guess is that some underground creature makes these. And while they might be doing this to keep warm, can we talk about how dangerous these unknown creatures could be? Let's hope they stay hidden.
Don pointed out in the story is that they can burn for weeks, for months. He said he wouldn't be surprised if those hidden fires are still burning in February.
Fabled giant. A rumor circulated for quite a few years that a giant was living in some mountains in Balochistan, Pakistan. In 2023, a few travelers decided to test that theory. They found a mysterious hole in the said mountains, and as they threw stuff inside the hole, it was almost instantly thrown back out with a strong gust of wind. There is no doubt that a giant monster was living under there. It is lucky for the travelers that the monster wasn't in the mood for some fresh air, or else who knows what could have happened. Underground calamity. A farmer in India had the most unpleasant summer in 2023. First, his corn crop began to wither away for unknown reasons. And then he found a mysterious hole in his farm that shook him to the core. The hole spat rocks into the air, and something below the ground tried to come out of it. For some reason, the creature couldn't make it through. This unknown creature under the ground caused his farm to dry up too. Poor guy couldn't even place an insurance claim, as insurance policies don't cover underground monsters. At least not yet. Mysterious powers. A couple of coal miners in Jordan weren't expecting this. When one of them disturbed the sand, it just caught fire. A mysterious force worked in the cave. The miner got scared and slowly put the sand back in its original spot. And then the fire stopped, implying that the force in the cave didn't want the sand to be disturbed from its original spot. The world is full of inexplicable phenomena, and this was one of them. Netizens too had no idea what was at play here. Maybe in time we will find an explanation for it. Soil trampoline. In 2019, a peculiar spot in India began attracting tourists. Apparently, when people stood on top of it and jumped, the spot bounced like a trampoline. It was as if some mysterious force underground had softened the soil to the point where it became bouncy. This is called soil liquefaction, and it often happens when the ground becomes unstable. The people thought it was all fun and games, but the authorities blocked the area soon after. They were afraid the place might collapse, so they have kept the place closed for public visits to this day. Naga moves. 3 years ago, residents of Haryana, India saw a spectacular scene on the river near their village. The land just rose up slowly like a hump, and then stayed there like that. What even happened there? Just bear with me for a second here. The Naga is a hybrid snake in Indian mythology that can live for 1,000 years and take on extremely large sizes. Now I am just saying that it could be a Naga creeping below the surface that displaced this much soil. Or maybe Mother Nature finally decided to wake up. Giant's Door. The Giant's Causeway is a tourist spot in Ireland. Legend has it that it was made by giants, and now there is proof that there are actual giants there. A tourist who went there in 2022 saw a huge door made of large rocks shutting down on God knows what. The door moved swiftly and silently, and the tourist caught the movement by chance only. But now we know. All those theories about giants roaming the world are beginning to sound more than just myths strung together. Halfway there. Apart from its dryness, the Sahara Desert is known for various myths too. People say there is a prehistoric underground lake in the Sahara. Looks like a creature from that lake wanted to come out to the surface. Because just 3 years ago, residents in an Algerian town witnessed this. Something was trying to come out from below the ground. The creature seemed frantic and in a hurry as it blew clouds of sand onto the surface. But it never made out, or else we would have been talking about the appearance of a strange creature in an Algerian town. Huge morsel. In 2013, a strange incident took place in Louisiana. John Boudreau was on a picnic when suddenly the trees in front of him began to disappear underwater. Netizens brushed off the incident as the appearance of a sinkhole. But here is the problem with that theory. For starters, the water rushed away from the spot. If it was a sinkhole, the water would have rushed towards it. Secondly, the trees just vanished underwater, as if, and this is the important part, a powerful force pulled them underneath. Now call me paranoid, but there was definitely an unknown monster lurking under the surface that pulled the trees towards it. Angel howls. People have passed down a legend for centuries that there are fallen angels chained under the Euphrates River. Well, guess what? We just might have evidence of their existence. And 2 laborers working on the bank of Euphrates near Al-Raqqa, Syria found it. They heard strange noises from a hole that they had just dug up. It was accompanied by sounds of chains too. According to the scriptures, these particular angels are supposed to wipe out 1/3 of humanity. So for our sake, let's hope that this was just a hoax. But do you think it was? Flip it. Looks like monsters of the deep like to play games too, with toys that are anything but small. On Deck 19, 2024, a group of tourists were taking a sea trip in Newfoundland, Canada. While they were moving around a group of icebergs, something peculiar happened. One of the icebergs just flipped itself on the spot, easy as you please. Something below the surface thought it would be funny to turn an iceberg on its head. I can't even imagine the sheer size of such a creature that can move an iceberg of this size. Gabriel's trumpet. Now this is what you call epic. This video is very old. Someone probably recorded it more than 20 years ago. It has no monsters or creepy crawlers, but it will make your hair stand on end. Look at the water making weird shapes as if someone with magnetic powers is pulling on it. A hellish noise supported this visual, as if Gabriel was blowing his horn. Netizens claimed it was the end of the world, but others called it harp technology. Maybe it was science at play, but then what if something more sinister was doing this? Vigorous intentions. In January 2023, a man just wanted to enjoy a picnic near a small lake in Florida. But when he threw the leftovers into the lake, he wished he hadn't. When the surface of the lake got disturbed, some unknown creatures below the surface just went crazy. They all jumped up and down. But here is the crazier part. The man just could not see the creatures. It was as if the were invisible monsters lurking in the lake, and quite ferocious ones too. As for the man, he didn't even bother packing. He just ran to his car and sped away from the location as fast as he could. Tremors. Have you seen the Tremors movie starring Kevin Bacon? It had these giant snake-like creatures that only moved underground. But a Mexican village might have acquired real tremor snakes under their lands. Filmed in 2022, a group of friends playing football saw something dumbfounding. A tremor-type monster was destroying their beloved pitch. They just looked on helplessly and in fear, and dared not move a muscle, lest the monster turned its attention towards them. Thankfully, nothing worse happened, and the underground snakes went away after a while. Gates of Hell. The gates to hell have opened, this time in Turkmenistan. Located near the town of Darvaza in Karakum Desert, it isn't a small one. The Soviets formed this crater in the 70s when they were drilling for oil. The fire has been burning since then. The Turkmenistan government has tried many things to put out the fire, but to no avail. It seems the fire is just inextinguishable, and there is only one kind of fire that is known to burn eternally: the fire of hell. Gulping stones. Looks like the creatures of the underworld are appearing more frequently than ever now. In this instance, a mysterious creature made a small hole in the ground, and it was just swallowing stones like candy. An anonymous source uploaded this video and refused to share much, so I have no idea where this actually happened. But given the increase in such appearances around the Earth, it is quite possible that you might come across something like this right outside your home. Breaching the surface. Monsters of the underground are trying to breach the surface. This time, they chose to appear on a roadside in Tlaxcala, Mexico, and they pulled up lava up with them too. If these creatures can bear the heat of lava, imagine what kind of ferocious creatures they would be. Drivers passing by were in shock at the scene unfolding in front of them. Even the cops soon closed off the road, fearing something bad. However, the mysterious activity stopped soon after, and nothing spooky has happened ever since on the spot. Underground force. In 2023, a road in China became a target of underground creatures' activity. This time, they came in numbers. It appears they used stones to push through the road. When passers-by saw the scene, they had no clue whatsoever about what could have caused this particular incident. Someone uploaded the video online, and it created quite the buzz. Netizens became fearful of what might happen if these underground creatures were to breach the surface. Let's hope the world doesn't come to that. It's tough enough as is. Sheer luck. Workers in Mexico had a scary day last summer. They were all digging the land to build a road. Suddenly, the ground beneath them cracked open, and then it began to open up. They were so scared they were rooted to the spot. Some workers even reported hearing mysterious voices coming from the huge crack. It appeared as if something was trying to push the ground up. They all must have worn their lucky charms that day though, because no one fell into the ditch during the incident. Lost doorway. People say there are lost civilizations on Earth, and that some of them are buried underground, with discreet tunnels for access. Some say they belong to dwarves, while others think they belong to advanced humans who no longer exist. Whatever the case may be, in 2023, a Chinese man might have found the entrance to one such civilization. When he threw a rock inside, the entrance appeared to have no bottom at all. I am sure that archaeologists would like to go down this mysterious entrance and find out what lies beneath. Unearthed dragon. Oh boy, and this is why you shouldn't go digging for treasures. You just might unearth a calamity. In 2019, 2 Portuguese farmers were digging a supposed site for a hidden treasure, but just a few feet down, and they lost all their appetite for lost treasures. After they found the head of a dragon in the shaft, looks like the monster went into hibernation once and didn't wake up again. But since dragons are known to guard treasures and gold, looks like the farmers had the right information. So I wish they had kept digging for their sake. Eerie Tunnel. On January 14, 2024, an American man shared a mind-boggling video from an undisclosed location. He had found a small entrance in the ground below an oak tree, but the most surprising part was that there were stairs leading down deep into the ground. There were electric lights all along the tunnel, and he found an eerie room at the end of the tunnel. It definitely was a secret government facility, but the question is for what? Some said they kept mental patients here. Others thought it was for testing animals. But whatever the case may be, a well-established underground structure like this is definitely suspicious. Appalachian land grabber. In October 2023, a tourist to the Appalachian Mountains saw a bizarre sight. A whole chunk of land intact with trees was moving to the left. Something was dragging the land with it to an unknown destination. Its speed was slow but sure, as if the creature pulling it had done it many times before. The Appalachian Mountains are known for the highest number of disappearances in America. Looks like this could be one reason. You're there one moment, and the next, the ground beneath just snatches you into oblivion. Tickling a dragon. A visitor to Daintree National Park, Australia, found something bizarre there. He found some rocks that jiggled when he tapped them, but it looked like these weren't rocks. They seemed to be the scales of a dragon. At least that is what the netizens told the visitor once he uploaded the video online. According to them, the dragon was sleeping belly up, and that is why the scales jiggled when the visitor touched. The wise say never tickle a sleeping dragon. Looks like the visitor survived by a breath of a hair. Monsters invasion. David Nugent Malone used to walk his dog, Jake, in Mugdock, Scotland, on a path that the pair had walked hundreds of times. But on October 21st, 2023, something happened that forced the couple to change their track forever. When they reached a particular spot on their track, something mysterious and powerful tried to lift the ground. It looked as if something was forcing the trees up. Netizens scratched their heads as they had no idea what it was. But some people speculated that the monsters living below the surface might be expanding their empire below. Let's hope this is not the case. Giant tunnel. Take a deep breath now and look at the sheer size and shape of this tunnel. And think, what could have made this huge tunnel in the snow? Only a giant armadillo could have made this. And this one was bigger than the anything human beings have ever seen. Now, while the armadillo theory is good enough, there are a few things that make me think otherwise. Firstly, an armadillo that size clearly doesn't exist. Not anymore, anyways. So, if it isn't an armadillo, what could it be? Well, there is a theory that some strange monster lurks in the icy depths of Antarctica, where this was taken. So, maybe that? Sinister intentions. Either something unbelievable lives underground and is finally waking up, or something out there is experimenting with some crazy weapons to make the Earth look like this. Sure, to anyone out there, this looks like just a natural phenomena, but that's what they want you to believe. You know, the same people who are probably collaborating with extraterrestrial forces too. And if you think about it, if they can trigger such seismic activities, what else are they planning to do? Zambian portal. Africa has been dubbed the land of mysteries for ages, but the people there have become so adept at countering them that strange experiences don't even faze them. A couple decades ago, an incredible portal opened into the underworld, but the people of Zambia knew what to do. They constructed a room over the portal. When a visitor from the USA wanted to see inside, a local helped in removing a brick from the roof. When the visitor got a peek inside, he was utterly terrified. He asked the local to replace the brick quickly, and that was that. Fire ditch. A couple of desert explorers witnessed a splendid sight near Dubai. A ditch seemed to be spitting sand with force. The explorers were astounded and did not know what it was. However, when they uploaded the video online, they were told about its reality. There were packets of methane below the surface, and because they were packed at high pressure, they released themselves with force. That is also reason why the ditch caught fire too. Just a normal geological phenomenon, folks. Nothing to worry about here. Hellway. In the Lord of the Rings saga, the dwarves dug so deep into the earth that they ended up waking up Balrog, the demon from hell. Looks like an excavator in Colorado did the same, but it didn't need to dig too deep for it. The excavator opened a doorway that could very well lead to hell. The demons that have been trying to come to the surface might as well have used this path to come out. But thankfully, the excavator operators were far smarter than any of us, and they quickly closed the hole down again. A lid away. A sight like this is enough to confuse anyone, but when you know there are unknown creatures lurking underground, this becomes much more sinister. Some mysterious force seems to be playing with these discs, and what lies beneath these discs remains anyone's guess, but whatever it was, had powerful lungs, because its powerful breaths not only disturbed the discs, but were strong enough to disrupt the traffic cones lying beside them. Well, it's a good thing whatever it was didn't really want to show itself. Alien floater. In 2023, a trade vessel was making its way through the Pacific Ocean. Usually they had no surprises on their path, but on that day they did. An unusual object just appeared from under the surface of the ocean, and it was about to collide with the trade vessel. However, they got saved by a hair's breadth. Its form and behavior was unlike anything human beings have ever made. Netizens were confused about the identity of this strange object, but the majority said that the object was definitely alien. The bunyip.
Aboriginal folklore speaks of a terrifying swamp creature called a bunyip.
In Australia, something sinister lurks in the swamps. And in September 2023, an explorer caught sight of it. Was it the head or a different part of the body? But it was definitely a predator waiting to ambush its prey. The explorer shuddered at the thought of what might be lurking below the surface. Karen Billinger, a historian of Aboriginal lore, shed light on what it was.
Would lay in wait in the swampy waters and grab passersby and pull them under the water.
It was the bunyip, a mythical monster that inhabited swamps and rivers. It grows to up to 12 feet tall and has razor-sharp teeth and can pull down passersby under the water. Beware of the swamps if you visit Australia, guys.
It would lay in wait in the swampy waters and grab passersby and pull them under the water.
Water fire. Citizens of an Iraqi town found a tourist spot in the most unlikely of places. A water spring appeared in a sand dune near their town, but the extraordinary part was the fire coming out along with it. One of the bystanders also dared to drink the water, and it was fresh. But what event caused the fire? Netizens went crazy when they saw this spectacle. They have stated that it is the end of times, and that the frequency of such weird appearances will increase over time. Underground civilization. Civil engineers in Israel experienced a baffling incident during their construction work. While excavating a particular site, they stumbled upon a strange scene. Some mud showed up below after a few feet of digging, and after a while, it changed shape. Eventually, it turned into a mosaic with a man on it. Could this be proof that there once was or still is an underground civilization on our Earth? While there has been proof of underwater civilizations like Atlantis in existence, the theory of underground civilization still needs substantial proof, but this could mark the start. Mighty monster. A couple of lumbermen were cutting down trees in a forest in Canada, but they experienced something strange while on duty. Something tried to come out from under the ground. It shook the land angrily. It clearly wanted to come to the surface. What evil is living below the earth? Netizens reckon that it was a dragon, but there isn't enough evidence to prove that. But it was definitely a mighty creature from the underground, the likes of which we don't want to see. Mystery portal. When you accidentally make an astounding discovery, you know you have hit gold. Samuel Timmins and his friend were frolicking beside a lake in Canada. For fun's sake, he threw a stone in the water. But what happened there is simply unbelievable. The disturbance created a ripple effect on the rocky ledge above it, and it opened a portal. Or maybe it was a doorway into the rocks. We will never know what actually happened there, because that was the last we heard about Sam and his friend. Who or what took them will unfortunately forever remain a mystery.
Oh, bro.
Molten soil. The creatures of the underground are too powerful. They have amazing heat weapons that can even melt the soil. A village in Colombia witnessed a similar scene. Some unseen force created a pond of molten soil near them. It was frothy and boiling. It was spine-chilling to watch. The residents believed the gates of hell had opened in their village, and they began praying in earnest to ward off the evil of the pond. However, it was a one-time incident, and soil went back to normal soon after. Peaceful eruption. In 2018, a few tourists were visiting a peaceful lake in Iceland, but they didn't expect this to happen. The seemingly peaceful lake just erupted out of nowhere. The tourists were shocked, as nothing like this had ever happened before. How did this even happen? Looks like some unknown force from below the ground pushed up into the lake. If they were underground creatures trying to tunnel their way up, they picked the wrong spot. The lake has remained peaceful since then, though. Open discussion. A gate to hell opened in Vietnam. A few miners were digging into a tunnel when they encountered a spine-chilling scene. They began hearing the screams of the people in hell. And suddenly, the tunnel began to collapse too. The miners turned around and ran out. They quickly closed the mine after that. Someone uploaded the video on social media about a year ago. Since then, there have been no extraordinary reports from Vietnam, which means that we are safe, at least for now.